I'm here today to show you a card that I made with some fun new products from the upcoming Stampin' Up! January to April 2023 mini catalog. So these products will all be available beginning on January 5th to purchase. And my goodness, I can see that I am all sorts of crazily crooked on this screen here. Goodness. Anyway, hopefully that straightens it out a little bit. I don't know. One of these days, I should put like a marker on the table, but then I move my camera and then yeah, anyway. All right, so hopefully we're a little bit straighter and hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. So, I'm going to show you some new products from the upcoming mini catalog, Valentine's Day sort of related. It's hearts and flowers and things, but it's got some good just regular friend sentiments in it. So you don't necessarily have to do it for Valentine's Day if you don't want to have Valentine cards, but the suite is really awesome. It's got some really great designer papers, and I'll show you a couple of those that we're using today as well. Hey, Marilyn, I'm glad that you like the bundle. I do too, actually. It was one of those that I'm like, it's kind of hearts and flowery and whatever, but I think it's going to be a good general bundle because I like that it's a punch and that there's paper that coordinates with it, and I'll show you how all that works together here in just a second. So, hey, Jean, thanks for coming in. I appreciate you being here as well. All right, so this is the card we're going to be making today. It's actually pretty simple, and I kind of stole the design from the from the mini catalog. There was another card that had a similar look to it, totally different papers, totally different images, but I kind of like the layout, so I swiped it, and that's what we're using for the card today. So, hey, Sherry, thanks for joining. So this is the stamp set. Again, it's called Country Bouquet, and again, like I said, it's got nice Valentine's sentiments in it, but it's got a just wanted to say, and then I love that we're friends and a for you, and so it doesn't have to be necessarily just Valentine related. So like I said, it is definitely a little bit Valentine related, but you can do things other than Valentine's with it. So Country Bouquet is the name of the stamp set bundle, and it's got a punch with it that coordinates, and it's really cool that Stampin' Up! Is, hey, Mary, and Mary, thanks for joining. So you will see that actually this image here, the double heart image on here, lines up perfectly. Well, if you stamp it, it lines up perfectly because it's going to be face down. I guess I could go this way with it. It lines up perfectly with the punch, as do the little leaves. So they've got it set up so that you can just stamp once and punch, and it's all done. So I do love it. And like I said, there's some designer papers that I'll show you in a second that also coordinate with the punch. And all you have to do is put in the punch it, and it's done. So very cool. And I love that it's photopolymer as well, so I can see what I'm doing. So, oh, thanks, Karen. I'm glad you like it. Hey, Barbara, thanks for joining, and Carol as well. All right, so that is the stamp set and the punch, and we'll be playing with both of those here. Let me get some of this mess out of my way. And then a couple other things that I used on this is the Stylish Shapes dies. Hey, Marlene, I'm glad you're here, and definitely not too late. So, and Dawn and Bonnie's here as well. Glad y'all are joining from lunch. Awesome. All right. So I used this die set. This is the Stylish Shapes dies, and I actually used the second largest of the circles. And then I don't know how to describe these banners. It's the wide, narrow one. Can it be wide and narrow at the same time? It can in my mind, but you know. So anyway, so it's the larger of these two banner dies over here that I used for the sentiment and around the little heart image. And then I also snuck in this die from the, this is Basic Borders dies, and these are in the annual catalog, both of these sets are. This die I actually used to cut my little banner here. And I know if you are talented with a scissors, you can cut straight up and snip, and then I end up snipping and snipping and snipping because I can't ever get them straight. So for me, it's a little easier if I have a punch or a die, and this one seemed to work well for what I was going to be doing. All right, so that is what I used for today. A couple things before we get going. Last chance sale is going on right now from Stampin' Up! So anything that is in the current mini catalog, which is the July to December 2022 mini. Hey, Nora, thanks for joining. July to December 2022 mini catalog, anything that's on the retiring list is actually going to be going away as of January 4th. A lot of things are starting to sell out. So if there are things you're still wanting, they put some things on sale. Go take a peek. Go get your things ordered before everything is gone. The clearance clearance rack still has a lot of good deals on it as well. So go take a peek at that so you can get everything that you want and get it on sale. So nothing better than that. And then I also have my Designer Series paper shares. The signups are open. How a designer paper share works, actually the papers that I'm using in my card today are in my share, is you get a sampling of all of the Designer Series papers from the upcoming catalog. It gives you basically one of each 6x6 piece of paper that's in the catalog. Some of them are 12x12 and I chop them up to 6x6. And there are double shares, so if you want 6x12, you can do that. But go take a peek at stampwithamyk.com. The details are all out there, and you can sign up for my share if you are interested in getting a bunch of pretty new papers from the upcoming catalog. So let me know if you have questions on any of that. Again, stampwithamyk.com. You can find all the details. One thing that I did want to show you really quickly is I had a little fun thing show up this weekend, and I hope you can see it well enough in here because my screen is kind of close, and I'm going to wiggle. So there's a new mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and it's so new I haven't like even taken the plates out of the package yet, and I need to play with it, but I haven't, and I will. So this actually is something that you can get if you join Stampin' Up! Starting on January 5th. They have a great deal on their starter kit. If you haven't seen it in the celebration brochure, go take a peek at it. You can get this little boho blue is the color of it. Hint, hint, it might be something new to look forward to in the next catalog. But anyway, it's called Boho Blue, and it is a new mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and you can get it for free with your starter kit in January, February. So starting January 5th, running through the end of February. If you join during celebration, you can get this cute little machine. The starter kit is $129. You get this machine with it, or you can pick this machine. You can either pick this one or the white one, the standard one that we have. So it's $129, and you get to pick $175 worth of Stampin' Up! Merchandise in addition to getting this machine. So it is a really good time to join during celebration. There are a couple options. There's also the regular $99 option, and you still get to pick $175 worth of merchandise, but you don't get this cute little machine, and everybody wants the machine. So anyhow, let me know if you have questions about that, have an interest in joining, want to know more about it, want to get the discount for yourself, just holler, and I'm happy to chat with you about it. All right, so let's get started on the card. I gotta set my cute little machine down before I knock it off the table. Okay, so I did some cutting ahead of time. I have got the, this is the Country Gingham 6x6 Designer Series paper that I've cut this panel from. This is Sweet Sorbet that I've got on one side and Mint Macaron on the other. And there's another pack of designer paper. This is the Floral, what is it? Country Floral Lane Designer Series paper. That's where the other paper came from. And they all the colors coordinate between the two packs of paper, which is really awesome. So you can mix and match, and it's part of the whole suite if you want to get the whole suite, which you might as well just get the whole suite because you'll be sad if you didn't. Just get the whole suite, and then you have everything, and you can play with it and mix and match and have all the fun new goodies. All right, so using Stampin' Seal, this piece is cut to about 3 7/8 by about 5 1/8, and I'm adhering it to basic white cardstock, which is cut to about 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm trying to get it lined up here. All right, and then I've got a card base. My original card base is a top fold card, so this one's cut to 4 1/4 by 11 and scored at 5 1/2 across the top. The card that I'm making today is going to be the standard book fold cards. Hey Judy, thanks for hopping in. So a standard book fold card, which is 8 1/2 by 5 1/2, scored at 4 1/4. So whichever your favorite card base is, this card design will work with either one of them. Then I'm going to use some Stampin' Dimensionals, and I've got this card base I probably forgot to say is Sweet Sorbet, which is one of the new in colors. Well, I guess they're not so new anymore. One of the 2022 to 2024 in colors. They're kind of still new to me. So, hey, Melanie, thanks for hopping in, and Merry Christmas to you, too. So, all right, I'm going to take this, and we're going to stick it on the card front. Those are my little half Stampin' Dimensionals. I chop my dimensionals in half, and you can do that if you want to, or you cannot. So, all right, so this is a piece of the Country Floral Lane Designer Series paper. This is a 12 by 12 pack, so the gingham is 6x6. The other pack is 12 by 12, and this piece is cut to about 2 inches by about 5 inches. Backside of it's got some balmy blue little hearts on it. Well, white hearts on balmy blue background, I guess is what I should say. And then I'm going to grab the Border Basics dies, and I'm going to take this little V-shaped die, and I'm just going to put it down here on the bottom and just sort of judge it and decide where I think it looks like it's in the middle. That looks like it's about in the middle to me. And hey, Susan, glad you're joining from chilly Green Bay, Wisconsin. It's chilly here in New Jersey too. So I can't even say that's nice here because it's not. It's sunny, but it's cold. So, all right, so I'm going to take this and just trim off the very bottom of it with the die. So it's going to give it the little kind of stitched edge look, and it'll cut it hopefully straight. Hopefully I run it through the machine and not have it look crazy. So I'm going to be off screen for a second and away from my phone, so my voice will fade out, but I will come back, I promise. All right. Maybe. I will get this lined up. All right, I think I got it fairly straight. And there we go. And we're just going to use a little Stampin' Seal to adhere these together. So finally above zero in western South Dakota. I know you guys have been getting like all the worst weather out there, Rosie. I keep watching and being, ugh, it looks miserable. You had big blizzards, and then it's freezing, and then more snow is on the way, and ugh, yuck. So, all right, so I'm going to adhere this to the card front with a little Stampin' Seal. And it does look like I didn't trim this up quite as short as I did my original one. They're close, but this one's a little bit shorter. Not that it really matters. So as long as it fits on the card front, you're all good. All right, then I pre-cut ahead of time from basic white cardstock. Just got one of the Stylish Shapes dies. It's the second largest of the circle dies. I almost call them oval dies. These are definitely not ovals. The circle dies. And just cut a piece of basic white cardstock. So, oh, there's another Rapid City native. Oh my, so you're used to the cold weather as well. So hey, Karen, thanks for joining, and Linda's here as well. Glad you all are hopping in today. I've got a couple of the little kind of greenery images from the Country Bouquet stamp set. I got Mossy Meadow and Mint Macaron inks, and we're just going to do a little stamping, and it's going to be sort of blind stamping, but I generally know where I want these to end up, and it doesn't matter if they're a little covered by some of the die cuts or some of the punches, it's okay. So I generally know that I want one of them to be up and then two of them to be kind of down towards the bottom. And again, this is Mossy Meadow ink that I'm stamping these in. And we'll close this up. So also an Amy K, you're right. Only yours is actually K, and mine's a big long, mine's Kunders, and nobody can ever say it right, so that's why I just go by Amy K. All right, Mint Macaron ink, and gonna stamp that one right up here. Whoop, I did not get a very good image. We'll see if I can do this again. We'll see how good my eyesight is. Probably not very good. Oh, yay! All right, and then we're gonna stamp this one down here. Just to give it a little bit of, it's not an equal number because I know that's a thing. And so I'm trying to be better about not having things be in pairs. So it's 5 instead of 4. All right. Then let me grab a piece of the Country Floral Lane Designer Series paper. I did chop this up already. This started out as a 12 by 12 sheet, and I'm cutting it into it's just about 2.5 inches wide on the little strip here. And if you cut it to just on either side of the heart, then this awesome little punch, which is the Country Bouquet punch, fits perfectly around the image here. And rather than having to stamp it, you can be lazy like me, line it up in the punch, and ta-da! You've got perfect images all pre-done for you, and this is the lazy way of stamping. This is how I do it. So I'm trying, Mary, I'm trying. So it's hard for me though, because I've kind of gotten into using pairs on things, and so I'm trying to get out of that habit. And so I don't know, I go back and forth. So, all right. So I've got actually one of the heart punches here that I did. I did another one ahead of time. You probably saw it was already missing from the little sheet here. So they go every other. It's Mossy Meadow and then a Mint Macaron, Mossy Meadow, Mint Macaron, Mossy Meadow. So it's every other across the panel. So I had punched one of the Mint Macaron leaves out first, and then I punched the one with Mossy Meadow. And now I'm just going to take these and adhere them to the card front. So Oh, thanks, Rosie. I appreciate that. And hey, Deborah, thanks for joining from Australia. Hopefully, you're having a good day there. I hear that it's warmer there. We're freezing here, so I'm sure that it's warmer where you are. Just took a couple little glue dots and I stuck them towards the center of this heart because I'm going to take the leaves, I'm going to tuck them underneath. So I want to make sure I don't have adhesive all the way out to the edges so that I can slide the leaves under and put them where I want them to go here on my little die cut. And then I'm going to take a mint macaron leaf and put a little glue dot under that. And we'll slide this underneath here. Do one up. And then take the other little mint macaron leaf and tuck that up here. And when I saw this initially, I'm like, oh, it sort of looks like the heart's flying. So then I put a second set of leaves under it to make it look like it was maybe not flying as much. So then here are the little mint macaron leaves. Again, I'm just taking that and tucking it underneath the heart. Although maybe it looks like it's got two wings on it this way. I don't know. And taking the other one and tucking it underneath this side. There we go. And then I've got the final little petal pink heart, and I'm actually going to take another little glue dot and stick it on this one, and then we're just going to stick it to the larger sweet sorbet heart. So ta-da, all done kind of with the focal image of the card, and it took about 2 seconds to do it. Like I said, I'm kind of a lazy stamper, so if I can get paper to do all the work for me, then I'm certainly going to do it. These two images are in the stamp set, so you definitely can stamp them when you run out of the paper. I know it does look like it's flying, and I wasn't sure if I was just weird, but anyway, so I'm glad that you all are seeing it as well. So still a bit cool for summer, but a beautiful morning. Yep. Yeah. We're, like I said, it's, I don't even know how cold it was this morning, but there was frost on everything and, big coats, and it's cold here. So, all right. And I'm going to take this and stick it to the card front. There we go. Hey, Rita, I'm glad that you're liking it from the heart of Illinois. Glad you are joining us today. All right, so that's most of the card front. We just need to add a little sentiment here. So I've got a piece of Sweet Sorbet cardstock, and I've got the I Love That We're Friends stamp on here from the Country Bouquet stamp set, and a little Versamark ink, and we're just going to do some heat embossing. So I'm going to ink this up, hopefully really well with Versamark, and stamp it here on the Sweet Sorbet panel. And then I'm going to grab my white embossing powder. This is from the Basics embossing powders. And our embossing powders come in sets of 3. So the Basics has white, clear, and black in it. And then there's a Metallics that has the metallics. So it's got the silver, copper, and gold in it. So, all right. So there we go. Got the embossing powder on it. And then I'm going to grab the heat tool. So there's going to be a bunch of racket in here, and I apologize. So it will get kind of loud. So I've got the Stampin' Up! Heat tool here. If you don't have the Stampin' Up! Heat tool, or if you do, it has 2 settings on it. There's a level 1 setting for drying. So if you're doing something like watercoloring or something where you want it to dry a little bit faster, using an ink that doesn't dry as quickly, you can use the level 1 setting. Level 2 setting is for heat embossing, so it gets a little bit hotter. And it does take just a second for it to heat up, so that's why I'm yakking and don't have it pointed at the paper, just have it pointed off into the sunset over here so that it heats up as I'm talking. So, all right, let me flip this towards the paper here and see if we're ready to go. As you're heat embossing, if you haven't done it before, just watch for the embossing powder to start changing to kind of a shiny, more bright white if you're using the white, or generally shiny if you're using any of the other embossing powders. And then it's done. So you can overcook embossing powder and burn it because, yep, I've done it before. Ask me how. So just be aware. Don't hold it in one spot for too long, and then don't keep going over and over it once the embossing is done. Otherwise, you can burn it, and it turns brown and ugly, and it's not pretty at all. So, all right. So then I have got the short, wide, if that makes sense, banner die from the Stylish Shapes dies, and I'm just going to do a little die cutting. So we're just going to run this through the die cutting machine. So I will be back in 1 second with this. All right, there we go. Got my die cut sentiment. Try try to get some of this mess cleared up so I don't knock everything on the floor. And then because this is going to be over the top of something that I've got dimensionals on, I'm going to go ahead and put dimensionals underneath one side of it. And we will put Stampin' Seal on the other so that it lays hopefully fairly flat on my card. All right, and I'm going to grab one more, here it is, one more of my little chopped up Stampin' Dimensionals. And I'm going to put it right here on the card front because I know that that's going to be covered. And I also want to make sure that I have a dimensional in there to kind of hold up that section of the little banner so that it doesn't sag in the middle. So, all right, so put a little Stampin' Seal on one side and got a couple Stampin' Dimensionals underneath it. And we're just going to stick this to the card front. And then the final thing that I added to the front anyway was a couple of the pastel adhesive back sequins. So these again are in the new catalog and will be available starting on January 5th. They're all part of the same suite. The colors are supposed to be balmy blue, petal pink, and gold. Petal pink to me, it's kind of petal pink. It's more of a regular pink to me. I don't know. It coordinates with petal pink. We'll just say that. And then I'm going to grab a couple of the gold ones. I'm going to put one little one over here. And then I think we'll use two of the bigger ones. So I'll put one of the bigger ones up here and another one right over there. And again, trying to do it in threes instead of pairs because, you know, like I said, I know that's a thing. All right, so that's it for the card front. So super simple, just a couple little die cuts, couple little punches, a very little bit of stamping, and it's all done. On the inside of the card, because I already had these punched, they're spares from, because I wanted the leaves on the card front, I had the extra pair of hearts from my punch, and that's just what I adhered on the inside of the card to decorate that. So it all coordinates, and it's really easy. Like I said, I just, you know, it's the lazy way of stamping. Let the punch do all the work, and, you know, I take all the credit. So, all right, there we go. We got that one stuck down, and whoop. There we go. Get my Stampin' Seal started again here. And then stick the other one down like that. And again, this is basic white cardstock, cut to about 4 by 5 1/4. All the details for this will be on my blog tomorrow, which is stampwithamyk.com. So I will link up directly to this video in the description of the video to the blog post tomorrow as soon as it goes live around 8 o'clock Eastern time. But yeah, all the details will be out there tomorrow, and I also will put a printable PDF tutorial out there as well. So if you prefer to that, rather than listening to me talk or rather than looking at the blog post, everything will be out there that you should be able to or that you will need to recreate the card. So that's it. And I guess I didn't point out that I used 2 different designer papers. I just noticed as I set them together, I'm like, oh, that's right. I was going to say I did that, and then I forgot. So this is from the same pack, the Gingham, Country Gingham 6x6 Designer Series paper. These are just 2 different prints from it. So so that's it. So it's a super simple card. I hope that you like it, and definitely just get the suite because you're going to love it. Again, starting on January 5th, you can get all these products from the new upcoming January to April 2023 mini catalog from Stampin' Up. Don't forget to take a peek at that joining promotion because it's pretty awesome. And let me know if you have questions about that. We'd love to have you come join our team. We're a pretty relaxed group. Just like to get together, have fun, and stamp. And that's the main thing. So, all right, appreciate y'all being here. I actually am going to take a few days off for the holidays. So wishing everybody happy holidays. Merry Christmas if you're celebrating. And I will plan to see you back not this Friday, not next Tuesday, but the following Friday, which I think is the 30th of December, if I have the dates right. So I will plan to be back. Like I said, I think it's Friday, December 30th is the date that it will be, that I will be back around 2 o'clock Eastern time here on my YouTube channel. So until then, have a wonderful holiday. Enjoy some time with family and friends. And we'll chat with you all soon.